Hey everybody, before we get started, I just want to remind you this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Adam the Harp, Comics, Osakabehime, Architect 10, Blixta G, Carlos, Qua, Dragon, Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Kylie Denton, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rogue Robin, Sharvor, Shiny P, some guy named Bob, Soda Son Overtuver, and Cyber23. If you like what you do want to see us do more, consider supporting Patreon. You get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies that helps us out. Thank you for your support, everybody. Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk FGO Wanted, the show where we let you know if you want to roll summer servants? Alright, so if you're new to Wanted, haven't watched them all, which you probably haven't because the views are awful these days. Seriously, guys. Come on, help brother out. Watch them. Anyway, normally this show is about limited 5 stars. We stopped doing low rarity limiteds because those videos did awful before this year, in general. But also, for the past couple of times going around with Summers, instead of doing a normal episode, I lump all those Summer Servants on a banner together. This is because Summer units are variants on already existing units. They rarely add anything to lore history, really. You know, there are a couple of jokes in there, deepest lore, ha ha ha, but, it's not usually super relevant. So, we're doing a special episode. I'll hit up all 3 units at once. And we'll go in the reverse order I made these assets. Carmilla, Osakabehime, then Musashi, the 5-star at the end. Okay? So we'll do all 3. We'll talk about mostly their mechanics and rate-up chances, anything else in there. But I'll throw anything funny I need to in there as well. You know, get the jokes, get the references in. And that's basically the intro. So, we won't be doing the usual format. This is not your typical Wanted. Go back and find a previous Wanted if you want more of that action. There's a playlist. You can check it out. You can watch through my whole backlog if you want more info. Alright, let's go to Carmilla. Alright, so, Summer Carmilla is a 4-star rider, and she got her swimsuit before regular Liz. This makes her perfectly ecstatic. So, she has pretty high attack for her rarity, but as a result has the lowest according HP. Pretty typical stuff there. She is quick, arts buster with solid hit counts and NP gain for those various ratios. You know, pretty good hit counts, pretty good NP gain to go with them. Not getting out there pretty crazy. So, her NP is, as you can see on the screen, Testarossa Maiden, which basically she remodeled her Iron Maiden into a new form of technological torture device. Also, is Carmilla stating she has a weakness for redheads? Who knows? Anyway, this is an AoE quick NP that gives the enemy 1 time 3 turns buff block and also reduces their quick resistance based on overcharge. Now, this is only 4 hits, so this is not really a loop NP. It's not got enough extra hits to give you that crazy kinds of overkill. But it's a setup NP for follow-up turns. You block enemies' buffs so they can't do anything, and then you decrease their quick card resistance so that either, hypothetically, Carmilla doing it again could get through, or your other quick chargers who you've boosted to 100% can fire in after. It sets up and weakens enemies so you can go in later. So her first skill is her Femme Fatale skill. It has a 50 to 100% chance to skill seal the target, and gives them an interesting buff. I don't know if anybody else has this. I don't remember it. It gives them 30 to 50% crit defense down. Reduces their critical defense, so I'm assuming it's basically critical up, but on the enemy. It also generates 5 to 15 stars for you. Second skill, it's called Phantom Thief's Notice, but I'm hoping the translation will be Calling Card, because she sends the calling card. The target gets 20 to 30% crit chance down, and gives them a timer for 1 turn. When the timer resolves, that enemy loses 1 charge, and all allies gain 15 to 25% NP. Now, my assets may imply this is all enemy, but I have watched skill demonstrations of Carmilla. It's only 1 enemy. She sends the card to 1 guy. It does the buff on him. I don't know why the wiki says everybody gets the thing. Maybe it's just a weird whatever. Yeah, it says apply to 1 enemy, reducing... Okay. No, it's just a grammar thing. Okay. Sorry, I was rereading my own asset here. So yeah, it's just 1 guy, in case the grammar is not clear. And final skill, Mr. C. Steals 1k to 2k HP from all enemies, and then gives them 20 to 30% defense down for 3 turns. The HP drain, because it steals that HP from them, only heals Carmilla an amount equal to what she's stolen. So, if an enemy has only 1k HP, and you have her drain them for the full 2k, then they only lose 1k, they go out. Also, this is the thing I've seen back and forth, I don't remember if this can kill enemies. I think it can, or if it can't, it reduces them to 1 HP, which is like killing them. But it's so little damage. Mostly it's the healing back that you want. So use them on enemies actually who have pretty full HP totals. Passives are Independent Action A and Presence Concealment B, keeping a crit/star gen theme. Also, yes, this is a rider who doesn't have any writing. It's probably because her only riding is the car. So, basic strategy, Carmilla here is a support stall unit. She keeps enemies off buffs by blocking their skills and literally blocking their buffs. She, can steal their HP and reduce that. She can reduce their charge. She can keep their criticals chance down. I already mentioned blocking your skills, etc., etc. While also she heals herself and promotes NP for allies. Her NP is poised to slap enemies with some damage, maybe clear adds on a wave, and set up for future damage down the line, probably with a quick single target. If you can get that extra overcharge effect in there in that chain, you can do pretty good. This means that a lot of her synergy lies with direct damage dealers. Skahak's probably the most preferred in terms of raw damage on that list of just does the crazy high damage output being with a quick. But this can be any of your preferred quick DPS units, of course. And obviously, that was Skahak the Lancer. Scotty, though, can give Carmilla extra mileage out of her quick cards on the support she needs, but like I said, don't bank on your smooth brand loop strat. Only 4 hits. Now, for CEs, you'll want to consider something that either gives her quick or her NP a boost, since the closest to damage steroid you get on her NP is the Def Down. So, amping up her damage even further, probably pretty useful. Her calling card gives her 25% MP max when you do it, so you could try a K-Scope, but that would require setup. Also consider defensive CEs, like Ironwood Training or a Shroud of Magdalene or whatever. You want to keep her alive to stack more debuffs. So, actually, because she's got lower HP totals and doesn't have any really, really good hard defenses. She just has some skill and block stuff and some heals. No guts, no evades or anything. So you may want to give her something that'll actually keep her alive a little bit longer so she can keep hitting people. And also, this is another one of those cases where, hypothetically, if it had stats, you might actually use her Bond CE. It gives her a flat 10% chance per normal attack to inflict skill seal and also gives her 30% NP damage. So that would actually be useful. So her Ascension materials are probably pretty manageable. There's shells in this store and shells in the next store. So you should be all fine with that. But I gotta be real, her skills are butts. Carmilla, why do you need 60 stakes and spinal fluids per skill? Why? And honestly, those stingers are nothing to shake a stick at either. So, if you're gonna give her the full 10-10-10 treatment, get ready to grind. It needs a lot. So, she has a raid up this summer, and it's rerun. And due to the way that the 5th anniversary Lucky Bag works, she will also be in one of those appropriate pools because she is a limited servant. If you roll on the pool for her year, you can get any of the limited servants from that year. You're not guaranteed 4 stars, but you can get them. So that's also technically a raid up. And that's basically Summer Carmilla there. Now, Osakabehime, a girl after my own heart. She has embraced the summer of playing games and thus become one with the airsoft, becoming a 4-star archer. So, her attack is pretty low, but her HP is very high as a result, a natural state for Osakabehime. So she has Emiya's quick arts buster style deck, so she's a archer with a caster deck. Perfectly normal, kids. And has the average hit counts and NP gain that results. So, actually, honestly, I might even say that with 3 arts cards, her NP gain's a little high. Usually they trim that down when you can make arts chains, but it's probably because she has a buster AoE NP. It gives all allies buster and critical up for 3 turns based on overcharge. So that's probably why her NP gain is decent, because they don't need to worry about it doing anything with her NP. Still, decent AoE attack. So, her first skill is Marksmanship FPS. It gives her 30 to 50% crit, 3 hits, 3 turns, and a 1-hit, 1-turn evade on a 5-turn minimum cooldown. Yeah, so that's pretty spicy. 3 times 3 turns, 50%. That's pretty normal, but the evade, also pretty good. 1 time, 1 turn. Very useful. It's no Excel turn, but still great. So her second skill puts a taunt on an enemy as a demerit, but it gives her 3 turns of sure hit, and the team charisma bonus, basically. 10 to 20% attack up, on a 5-turn cooldown as well. So, yeah, you actually get some decent effort out of that. Just watch when you apply the taunt. Final skill is a multicolor mana burst kind of thing. I mean, it's 3 turns, so it's even smaller than the mana bursting. But it's 3 turns, 20 to 30% up, also 5-turn cooldown. So, nice, low skill cooldowns, everybody. Very useful. Now, she has a lot of passives. We've got Magic Resistance B, Independent Action A, so very good on the passive crit damage. Divinity C is also fairly normal, gives you a little bit of bonus damage. And then, she's got the interesting one. Her Territory Creation is actually Fortress Creation passive, or whatever the heck they're going to translate that as. It gives her the normal arts bonus, but also 200 damage cut. Very tanky servant. So basically, with all these low cooldowns, Osakabehime has a great cycle of damage and buffs. Her NP and other skills can hypothetically be used to fire multiple times and hit harder and harder, which outpaces her low attack, while also giving some very spicy crit turns on a specific enemy. But several of her buffs are team-wide, so she has a great synergy as well, right? Now, this taunt ideally shouldn't be a problem for you. Save it for when you're on a boss or mini-boss wave and just focus down on that one enemy anyway. And you can use her or others' AoE attacks to wipe out additional enemies. Just pay attention when you use the skill. You cannot autopilot that taunt skill, which luckily it uses the taunt icon, so hopefully you should remember. So, being Buster Arts crit-focused, Osakabehime can be supported or support a variety of units. There are a variety of Arts Buster hybrid units whom she can side with, and also she can work as a direct support for Buster units. Being Buster Crit herself, Merlin makes an excellent support for just hanging in there and constantly doing damage output, but also after doing her upgrade, so she also supports Buster, Osakabehime can support herself. Good job. Claps all around. And basically by this, I mean that, like with Merlin or with other supporting, you can raise her Buster effectiveness to make her NP and her one Buster card hit harder, especially when you crit. Merlin will give her regen and stars per turn if you fire his NP, and can give her more attack, more max HP, hard defenses, etc. And just make her really hang in there, because ideally what you want to be doing, with that Buster card effectiveness, critical damage on her NP, plus her own buffs to herself, you want to just keep firing buffs, building up damage, and doing her NP multiple times. Conversely, if you have like a single target Buster Servant, she can easily support them as well by just, hey, fire my NP, clear waves, give everybody else the juice, move on from there. For CEs, I would say to focus on the Buster Crit for maximum damage output, something like Victor from the Moon, or Victor of the Moon, however that's phrased, whatever. You can also consider boosting NP damage or gain to keep maximizing that aspect, something like Prisma Cosmos to ensure that she can keep firing her NP before those buffs expire. She has no battery on her own, so you will need to take external supporters if you want to use a CE. But you could use Aerial Drive and Waver, for instance, give her 50% starting, and it would mesh pretty well, as an example. So, once again, Ascension should be mostly fine. Some people may be struggling with those 24 bullets, but hopefully it's not a huge deal. There are bullets in the next event somewhere. But, once again, skills stay bad, not only needing even more bullets, but also 12 cores and 20 stand arrows per skill, which is a brand new mat, so you probably don't have 60 of those for all three of her skills. So watch out for that one if you're trying to go all the way to get those sweet 5-turn cooldowns. And Osakabehime has the same rate-up schedule as Carmilla. This time, rerun, lucky bag. And yeah, that's basically it. I don't have anything else there to say other than to make funny haha about her airsofting gameplay or whatever. We're getting into the real life. This will be funny in a year when I talk about Summer Tomoe. But let's move on to the crown of this setup, Summer Musashi. So, ironically, Summer Musashi, our new SSR, despite raiding a jet ski, is a berserker, and will immediately slide into the metagame, as she has the number 2 overall attack for berserkers, just a mere 100 less than Ku Alter, and she has the exact same HP value as Kintoki, which is low for this rarity slide, obviously, but her attack number, big. Also interesting for a berserker, she is a quick arts buster, so not a gorilla. She has 2 arts cards now, for median hit counts and NP gain. And I say median for, reasons that we'll get into in a second. And honestly, some of her hit counts are a little higher, but her NP gain is pretty average, and her arts hit count is median, and then a little bit higher for the other 2. It balances out. Now, the reason why I say that she's in the median range is because she's an AoE arts berserker. So, she has 4 hits, it's AoE arts, deals damage to all enemies, 30% crit down or crit chance, I should say, should clarify, crit chance down for 3 turns. And has a high chance to seal a specifically Saber Servant's NP for 1 turn, based on OC. It starts at 100% and goes to like 200-something. So, if you're fighting Sabers, she will NP seal them, but that's really a bonus. Mostly it's the crit chance down and the damage on the AoE. Now, even though she's not a rider, her first skill is Excel Turn. Turn that jet ski. It's the old 1-hit, evade, and 1 turn of critical up for 30 to 50% with a 4-turn cooldown. So a very rapid set of evades can help her dodge many NPs, and also, gives you that crit bonus, which you probably want in this case. Now, her second skill is, because it's Musashi, of course it is, it's a double your arts hit count. So just arts, hit counts are increased. It also gives her 30 to 50% NP gain up for 3 turns, and basically offers like a 0 to 30% damage up, since it increases the power of each hit a bit at higher levels. Basically, what happens is when you split the hit counts, when you double them, each individual hit does less damage, but the total damage stays the same, so this damage raising effect just increases the actual damage overall. So you can actually get like a little bit of a 30% damage up there. I don't know, by the way, if this works for sure on her NP. I think it does, but that would require more detailed testing than I can do ahead of time. I think it works on all arts cards. But yeah, this is pretty gnarly. Just think about it this way. You get to double your hit counts for arts and get to do like up to 50% NP gain increase. And I already said she doesn't have arguably bad NP gain. It's very middling. So when you get that up, it's pretty good. And then her final skill is another doozy of a skill. So, first of all, Pierce Invul for 3 turns. It also gives her 20 to 30% attack for 3 turns. A one-time 3 turns Guts for just 1 measly HP. So you will revive from one single hit that kills you. And also slaps all enemies with 10 to 30% defense down, which, by the way, means that between the attack and the defense, you're looking at like 60% attack up. But it does have a demerit. It costs you 5k HP. That can't be reduced. Also, it's on a 6-turn cooldown. Both of her second and third skill are. So, yeah, this is a slapper. You get to ignore Invincible. You get pretty big damage gains. You lose HP, but the Guts at least means that you won't immediately fall over dead. Though it is only one time for 3 turns and for 1 HP. So, her passives are Madness Dance and EX, so those Buster cards slap. Magic Resistance C, pretty normal stuff. Writing D, a little bit of extra on the 1 quick card. And Divinity D for the damage bonus, because she's been eating food out of offering bowls. She's so hungry, guys. That's why her weight is lower. She's literally starving, even though she's already cripplingly underweight. And also, I think her boobs are bigger. I don't understand the weight thing. So, Musashi is an arts loop type unit. With the massive amounts of amps you can do to her NP gain and damage, and some arts supporters, she should easily refund her NP. I know it's only 4 hits, but yeah, you should easily be able to go over with just a little bit of extra boost on some guys, which we'll talk about later. And even if you don't directly loop, you should be able to very rapidly replenish NP with arts crits and the extra hits they do. She also has defensive options in the form of both a Guts and an Evade, though they're both one time, to hold on a little bit longer, last out that little bit of extra turn, and does have a 3-turn Pierce, so the enemies cannot avoid the damage. You will do the damage. And this means for team comps, everybody, arts. Amp her damage with Tamamo or Paracelsus, or both, and many other side supports for arts. There are so many guys who do like AoE arts or help other friends and other stuff like that, boost NP gain for the team, etc. Casgil, for instance, another great one, if you're going for more of a team-wide comp. And naturally, in about a year, when Caster Artoria comes out, she will blend perfectly with this unit. You want the arts that locks in that looping power. And when you've got a Berserker who can loop with Pierce Invul, it's, pretty spicy. For CEs, again, arts is key. Depending on how you want to get to that first NP she fires, you will need to maybe use K-scopes and the like, or if you've got a 50% battery, you can go for 50% starting CEs. Several of which that are arts-related are also summer-related, oddly enough. So you can use shit like Dive to Blue or Painting Summer, relevant for the Summer 3 rerun, which is just happening just now, which will give her the extra NP damage and arts damage and stuff she needs. Just focus in that area and you'll do perfectly fine. Now, Ascension mats should again be fine. She needs 10 shells, but there's, a decent amount in the event itself. Plus, there was some in this previous event we're doing right now that's wrapping up as I shoot this. Needs a few lamps, but should be a huge problem. But, of course, you guys have been paying attention to this. Skills are going to be problematic based on what she's doing. Now, if you're a newer player, she needs proofs at 29. It's a lot of proofs per skill. You guys can read on a screen better than me. I'm looking at, tiny preview windows. She needs a lot of proofs, which if you've been a newer player and missed out on the, shitloads of proofs they dumped on us in the early game, that might be a problem. Also, no matter how long you've been playing the game, the fact that she needs rings and 10 mirrors per skill could also be a concern. So that's 30 total mirrors you need just for her skills. So, yeah, the skills are going to be a pain in the ass for all of these. I just, letting you know. Now, of course, Musashi has all the same rate-ups as the others. Summer, Rerun, 5th Annie Lucky Bag. But since she's a limited SSR, she also appears in several other Lucky Bags throughout the year. New Year's, etc., etc. So you can keep getting chances to get her on the oldie Lucky Bags. But the only regular rate-up so far is this summer and the Rerun. They'll probably fix that eventually, because they love to cycle in random rate-ups for all kinds of units. But yeah, that's where we are. And that's basically the show, guys. I hope you enjoyed our little summer splash extravaganza, running through these units really quick. Hope you guys get lucky and get what you want on these banners. I, of course, will be going fairly ham on this first one, because I want all of these units, and we'll see how it goes. And stay tuned for about a weekish from now when there will be a wanted, of course, for the next 3 units. That should be fun. And if you need more tips on the event and stuff, go check out Let's Talk FGO, our regular FGO podcast. All right, I am going to leave you now. So, if you like this video, feel free to give it a like. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section down below, or hit us up on our Discord. Link in the video description and on our channel page. If you're new here and haven't, please subscribe to our channel to get even more vidges to always catch your future wanted episodes. And consider supporting us on Patreon to get this video early. Could have gotten it, a few days early. It's great. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else to say, so I wish you luck, and have fun in Vegas.